Okay, time for a little update here on the FJ project. Today's a big day. I feel like I'm getting a lot accomplished all of a sudden. I've been working on this thing for a year, and sorry, and I've been spending lots of time doing little bits and pieces of the project because I don't want to. First of all, I don't want to jump over anything and forget it and then think about it later. But secondly, with the body off, it's so much easier to get to and do some of these things. So I've basically done all I can do with the frame off. I've got lots of sheet metal work left to do, but I can do that with the body on the frame now. The frame is ready to go. So let me flip over here and let's take a look at what's going on. The frame is precariously positioned under the body. As you can see, the rotisserie is removed. I just went to the hardware store and bought 20 cinder blocks and two 8-foot 4x4s. The body itself, I think I'm going to estimate it with the doors out, the glass off. We're probably looking at about maybe 600 pounds. I don't even think it's that much, but I'm going to say on a conservative number, it's probably about 600 pounds. Which means each 4x4 is holding one big fat guy. And they should be able to hold a big fat guy. So, we've got this guy. Why is this? Okay. I don't know why it went dark there. So we've got this guy pushed up under here. In case you're wondering, these are about 33 inches off the floor. This one back here, so this is 4 cinder blocks and a couple of 2x to get the bottom of the 4x4 about 33 inches off the floor, which is the highest point, which is right here at this rear hump. Well, technically it's actually the frame mount point there. If I pulled the bushing out, I would have been able to get another 3/4 of an inch or so, but hey. 6 cinder blocks here with the 4x4 sitting on top. That's just to keep the body pretty much level, so that when I pick it back up with the engine hoist, it's not doing crazy tilting thing. By the way, this thing, no problem, absolutely no problem to pick this up on the furthest extension too, 1/2 ton. So easily under 1,000 pounds. So yeah, I'm hoping here in the next hour or so, I've got the body sitting back down in the frames. I've got these inch body lifts, blocks that I'll put in there with all new hardware. All new hardware here. So let's get to work. And here we go. The body is back on the frame. This is really not a one-man job, but if one man's all you got, then you make it work. As you can see, I've got new poly bushings below these 1-inch spacers. So I had to let the air out of the tire actually when I was rolling the frame under to gain another inch or so of clearance, but you can see how much space we've got back here. The total lift I'm expecting to get is about 3.5 inches. 2.5 with OME and 1 inch with body. I think that looks about right. When I get some new tires on there, it'll fill out nicely. But it's nice to have the frame back under the body. For one thing, I can actually walk around my shop again, which is freaking nice. But yeah, getting the body back down the frame was a little bit trickier than I expected. This system that I rigged up here, it works. I'd probably do it differently, because the problem is that with it just, you're picking up from the front and the rear. The problem is you can get a front to back center of gravity, or center of center of gravity with this engine lift, but with just one, it still wants to do this a whole lot. So that makes it kind of tricky when you go to try and set it back down in the frame. Not to mention, when you're rolling the frame underneath the body, if the frame isn't perfectly lined up, if it's just canted slightly, it doesn't want to set down. So what I had to do is basically get one corner and get a bolt through it, and then manhandle it around, pulling, tugging, pushing to get a second bolt over here. And it was still canted slightly, so the ones in the rear didn't want to go in. So then I had to readjust everything, set it back down. It was a thing that took a while. But anyway, all that to say, we've got a body sitting back on a nice new freshly restored frame. I've got 4 doors coming in from a guy in Montana. Cost about $900. That was a hard pill to swallow. But if you go and you look at the state of the doors that came off, this is actually one of the best ones. Most of them are eaten up another 6 inches above that, and the passenger side front door it's gone, just about. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's getting to the point now where I can start doing the rest of the sheet metal. I've got gaps and stuff I've still got to fill. I've got a couple holes back here. I got to finish welding this up. I'm going to get some undercoating and seal underneath up real good now. I couldn't really do it very well, even though I had it on a rotisserie, because my rotisserie would not rotate but about 45 degrees. So it was really hard to actually get under there. So I thought, well, I got it. This will be high enough up in the air that I can actually get on a creeper and just roll around under there and hit it with some undercoating. It's going to be messy, but that's fine. Everything about this has been messy. Anyway, progress. Just getting this back on the frame feels like a huge step forward. The next big things I think I'm going to do is work on, well, I get the doors on. I'll strip all the glass and stuff out of the doors. They're going to have to be painted anyway. So I'll prep them at the same time I start prepping the sheet metal here for paint, after I finish up all the stitch work I've got for a few other patches. And then start putting back all the wiring. I've got a fuel line I've got to find. I can't even source it. When I was pulling the body off, the fuel line coming from the output of the fuel pressure pump running up it was rusted. I thought, well, I'll just get another one anyway. I clipped it to get it off. Well, that thing is no longer available. So, yeah, that sucks. I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly about that. I've heard rumors that maybe the Tacoma used the same fuel line, so I guess what I'll do is I'll just order one. The damn thing's like $80 for a 10-inch fuel line, so that sucks. But yeah, just wanted to give you a heads up, see where we're at. We should start seeing some progress here in the coming days. It ought to start looking a whole lot more like a Land Cruiser again. Anyway, if you got any questions, let me know.